Hi guys, so today we are continuing with polynomials, and this time we are focusing on multiplying polynomials. Okay, so we're going to be using our exponent rules that we've learned in previous units. Okay, and to multiply polynomials, super easy. We just go monomial by monomial, single term by single term. Okay, so there's two parts. First, we multiply the coefficients, and then we multiply the variables. And please remember, when we multiply variables, we end up adding our exponents. Okay? So an example here is if I had 5x cubed times negative 2x squared, I'm going to take the coefficients and multiply them together, right? So here the coefficient's 5. The coefficient here is negative 2. Okay, so 5 times negative 2 gives me negative 10. Right? And then the second part is I'm multiplying the variables, right? So here I have x cubed, x squared, and when I multiply those together, I get x to the fifth, right? Because we are adding our exponents here, right? So x to the third, x squared, x to the fifth. Then all I need to do is combine it, my coefficients, and my variables. Okay, so 5x cubed times negative 2x squared is negative 10x to the fifth. Okay, another method we can use to multiply polynomials is we can use the box method. And the box method is great for those of us who need a more visual way to see it. Okay, and it helps us keep track of our work. So what we do is we draw a box or grid and we write our polynomials to the side, term by term. Then we multiply each term by term and combine like terms. Okay, so let's get started with a couple of examples. I'm going to show you multiple ways for us to do this. Okay, and then it's up to you which way you prefer. Okay, so here I have 2x times 3x minus 1. Okay, so I'm multiplying them. I'm going to use the box method. So here you can see I made a grid. Okay, I'm going to put 2x here because that is one term. Okay, and then 3x minus 1 here, it's two terms. That's why you see two columns here. I'm going to put my first term, 3x here, and negative 1 right here. Okay, then I multiply. Okay, 2 times 3, those are my coefficients, right? Multiplying coefficients first, right? So 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is x squared. Okay, then I do the next one. Okay, so that's 2x times negative 1. Okay, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, so negative 2x. Okay, and then all I have to do is rewrite it as 6x squared minus 2x. Okay, and that's it. That's my answer. Okay, another way we can do it is just by distributing. Okay. So some of us like to do it this way if we don't like the box method. Okay, so 2x times 3x, distribute, we get 6x squared. 2x times negative 1, this gives us negative 2x. Note, whether we choose to do it our distributive method way or whether we use the box method, okay, we still get the same answer. Okay, so let's try this next one. Okay, I'm going to make my grid. Okay, so it's going to be one column across, okay, because this is a monomial, it's one term. Okay, and then since this here is a binomial, there's two terms, I'm going to split it here. So this will be 4x cubed and negative 3x. Okay, then I can multiply negative x squared, 4x cubed. Okay, so there's a negative 1, right? The coefficient here is a negative 1. Okay, so negative 1 times 4 gives me negative 4. X squared times x to the third is x to the fifth. Okay. Then I move on to the next one. So negative 1x squared times negative 3x. Negative 1 times negative 3 gives me a positive 3. X squared times x is now x to the third, right? Because this is x to the power of 1. Right, so x squared, x to the first, x to the third. Okay. Then all I have to do is rewrite it. Okay, so since this is positive, that's why I'm writing it as a plus, and this is my final answer. Okay. The other way we can do it is distributing. Right? So negative x squared times 4x to the third is negative 4x to the fifth. Negative x squared times negative 3x. So negative times a negative is a positive 3. Right? X squared times x to the power of 1 is x to the third. And note, we still get the same answer. Okay, so it's up to you which one you prefer. Right? So let's try another one. Okay, so here we have x plus 2 times x minus 6. So here is x and 2. Right, so it's 2 rows here because this is a binomial. Then the second one here, x minus 6. Okay, 2 columns because it's a binomial. Okay, and I'm going to start with this box. X times x gives me x squared. X times negative 6 gives me a negative 6x. Okay, 2 times x here gives me 2x. And 2 times negative 6 here gives me a negative 12. Okay. Then I'm going to rewrite it. Okay, so I'm going to start with x squared. Then on my x to the power of 1, so plus 2x. Plus, because this is positive. Okay, minus 6x minus 12. Then, when I combine like terms, I get x squared minus 4x minus 12. Okay. Another way is our distributive method. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the x and I'm going to distribute it to the x minus 6. And I'm going to take the 2, or the plus 2, and distribute it with x minus 6. Okay. For most of us, I think I prefer us to write it this way. Both the box method and rewriting it like this for distributive property will help us a lot when we do factoring, which is the opposite. It's going from this back to the original. Okay. So here, let's distribute. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 6 is negative 6x. Okay. Then I move on to the next one. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. And when I combine like terms, which is the negative 6x and the 2x, that gives me negative 4x minus 12. And look, I still get the same thing. Okay. I'm going to do the next one. I'm not going to do the box method. Okay, because I actually prefer doing it the distributive method way. Okay, so here I have 2x minus 5 squared. Okay, one thing I see students want to do a lot is they think, oh, this means it's 2x squared and then minus 5 squared. Okay, this is not true. Okay, you cannot distribute the 2 here because we have addition and subtraction inside. Okay, so please remember you cannot do this. Instead, 2x minus 5 squared stands for 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 5. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each term and distribute it. Okay. So I'm going to take this 2x here and distribute it to 2x minus 5. Okay. So what I did is I took this 2x, okay, and then we're distributing it to the 2x minus 5. Right? Then I'm going to take this negative 5 here, okay, and I'm going to distribute it to the 2x minus 5. Okay. So what I did is I took each term from the first polynomial and distributed it to the second. Okay? You might be like, Miss Ng, this seems like extra work. Okay, but if you write it like this, trust me, when we factor, it will help us to see how this can go back to this. Okay, so I'm going to distribute now. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times negative 5, 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, so negative 10x. Okay. Then distributing this one, negative 5 times 2x, negative 5 times 2 is negative 10, so negative 10x. And then negative 5 times negative 5, that makes it a positive 25. Then all I have to do is combine like terms, so 4x squared. Negative 10x minus 10x is negative 20x plus 25. And then we're going to do one more and call it a day. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to do the box method again, and I'm going to show you the way that I prefer you rewrite it. Okay? The box method, though, is great for those of us who are a little bit more visual. We need something more concrete to help us. Then the box method works great. But trust me, it'll help us if you are able to do the other method. And plus, it saves space. Okay, so here we have 2x squared minus 7x. Because that's a binomial, I have two rows here. So 2x squared minus 7x. And then here, I have x to the 5th plus 3x cubed minus 9x squared. That's a trinomial, and that's why you see 3 columns here. So x to the 5th, 3x cubed, and a negative 9x squared. Okay, so let's fill it in. Okay, so first box here is 2x squared times x to the 5th. This gives me 2x to the 7th. Right, so it's 2 times 1. Gives me the 2. X squared times x to the 5th gives me x to the 7th. Okay, then the next one here. So 2 times 3 gives me 6. X squared times x to the 3rd. I add my exponents. This gives me x to the 5th. Right. Then the last column here. 2 times negative 9 gives me negative 18. X squared times x squared gives me x to the 4th. Okay. And then next row, so negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. X to the power of 1 times x to the 5th gives me x to the 6th. And then the next one here, we're going to do negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. X to the power of 1 times x to the 3rd gives me x to the 4th. And then the last one here, negative 7 times negative 9 gives me a positive 63. X to the 1st, x squared gives me x to the 3rd. Okay, so now we're going to rewrite it, combine any like terms. Okay, so since it has to be in standard form, I'm going to start with my biggest exponent, which is here. So I have 2x to the 7th. Okay, then I want my x to the 6th. Okay, so minus 7x to the 6th. Then I want my x to the 5th, so that's here. Plus 6x to the 5th. Okay, it's plus because this is a positive. Okay, then I want my x to the 4th. There's two of them. I'm going to write both of them. Negative 21x to the 4th and negative 18x to the 4th. Okay, and then last is my x to the 3rd. So plus 63x to the 3rd. Okay, I don't have x squared, x to the 1st, or constant, so I'm good here. Now all I have to do is combine my like terms here. Okay, everything else stays the same. Okay, so 2x to the 7th minus 7x to the 6th plus 6x to the 5th. Okay, this is minus 39, right? Negative 21 minus 18 is negative 39x to the 4th plus 63x to the 3rd. Okay. So this is using the box method, and then I'm going to do it one more time using my distributive method, which is the way that I prefer. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the problem again just to help us. So it was 2x squared minus 7x, okay, multiplied by x to the 5th plus 3x to the 3rd minus 9x squared. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my first term in my first polynomial. It's a binomial here. And I'm going to distribute it to everything in my second polynomial. Okay, so I'm going to take that 2x squared and I'm going to distribute it to the x to the 5th, the 3x to the 3rd, and the negative 9x squared. Okay. Then I'm going to take that second term, that negative 7x, and I'm going to distribute it to everything in the second polynomial. So the x to the 5th, the 3x to the 3rd, and the negative 9x squared. Okay. So let's go. Okay, so 2x squared, x to the 5th, gives me 2x to the 7th. 2x squared times 3x to the 3rd gives me 2 times 3 is 6. X squared times x to the 3rd is x to the 5th. 2x squared times negative 9x squared, so 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. X squared times x squared is x to the 4th. Okay. Then I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, sometimes I see students, they just write all the arcs. I would do an arc, right? Draw an arc, do it, draw an arc, do it, draw an arc, do it. Okay, because sometimes what I realize is when students draw all the arcs and then do the math, they sometimes forget stuff. Okay, so I would draw it as I go. So negative 7 times x to the 5th is negative 7 x to the 6th. Okay. Then here, negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. X to the 1st, x to the 3rd is x to the 4th. Okay. Then negative 7x, negative 9x to the squared is negative 7 times negative 9 is positive 63. X squared gives me x to the 3rd. Okay. Then I'm going to rewrite it in standard form and then combine like terms. So the highest power is 7. So I'm going to start with the 2x to the 7th. Then I want the x to the 6th. Okay, so that's negative 7x to the 6th. Then I want x to the 5th. So that's here, 6x to the 5th. Then I want x to the 4th. Again, I notice I have 2 of them. So I'm going to combine like terms here. So negative 18x to the 4th, negative 21x to the 4th, negative 18 minus 21 is negative 39 x to the 4th. And then the last one is x to the 3rd. So plus 63 x to the 3rd. Okay. And you will notice it's the exact same thing as what I did before. Okay. So that's it for today. Have a great rest of the day. Bye, guys.